Hey y'all, we're gonna give it a minute and see if folks join because I want to give an update to anyone that follows. I want to give a quick update to anyone that follows the All of Us page based on the information that I have at this time and what I just watched, what I just witnessed. Um, let's give it a minute, but we're still gonna need all hands on deck. That doesn't change, considering what has just happened in the city of Albany. Um, that the city of Albany has just assaulted Black Lives Matter activists in front of the South Station. Period. That's what happened. That there was an announcement from the officers that the individuals were told they had 15 minutes to leave, to move. And anyone that's been watching, there's tents, there's heaters, there's chairs, there's all kinds of supplies for the Occupy. By the way, this is how cops treat homeless people all of the time. So I'm sure they don't think that there's anything wrong with telling folks that they have 15 minutes to move and leave. 15 minutes for people who were there as an Occupy to protest. And here's what I want y'all to recognize, right? Please pay attention to what I'm about to say, because the city of Albany has had an Occupy before. The city of Albany has had people, more people than what we just saw, plenty more people that were taking up space in the city of Albany. As a matter of fact, they took up space at a park right in front of City Hall, right? Y'all remember? It was called Occupy. And they were there to talk about the need to tax the wealthy, that the 99%, and it was a largely white-led occupation. That those people not only got to occupy, but they basically had the damn blessing of the city. I can't even remember, if anyone remembers, how long Occupy was in the city of Albany back in, what year was it? Somebody freaking look it up, because yes, I'm this mad. That Occupy happened in the city of Albany with a largely white contingency calling to tax the wealthy and for the 99% to come together and be united. Now, mind you, I am here for that campaign. I am here for us uniting. The name of the damn organization is called All of Us. We recognize that all of us need to come together. We recognize we need to tear down capitalism. We need to tear down white supremacy. We need to tear down racism and all forms of oppression and exploitation. And we need to lead with marginalized, impacted voices. So when a largely white contingent occupies a space for an extended amount of time with not just no interruption or hesitation, but the fucking blessing of a city, but when Black and brown people occupy in front of the South Station, in the South End, in the city of Albany, one of the most marginalized and abused communities in the city of Albany, one of, because it's not the only one, right? There are plenty of other places that are largely Black and brown where the city of Albany abuses their power and their privilege to put people in cages every single day, to cause them harm. And now the city of Albany has gone in with a 15-minute warning and said, y'all need to leave. And we saw on video from protesters that were on the ground, organizers who were on the ground, Michaela Foster and Queena and Casey Charles and others who were videotaping until the officers came right up to them, took their phones and stopped their video. Because they were occupying, calling for the what? End of police brutality. That you used police brutality against those calling for an end to police brutality. Kathy Sheehan, as mayor, that's what your city just did. Chief Eric Hawkins, as chief of police in the city of Albany, meant to protect and serve its constituents, residents, and those that are on the ground in the city of Albany. That is what you just did. You used violence and police brutality against people who were calling for an end to police brutality. Are you understanding? It's not just hypocrisy. It's beyond that. And now we need to make sure that we have legal support. So if there are lawyers watching, folks are going to need legal aid. If you're available to represent anyone that has been apprehended at today's Occupy, please reach out directly so that we can connect you with those individuals that are going to need legal representation against the city that used police brutality against those that were calling for an end to police brutality. And to the city council and to the mayor, still calling for a ban on tear gas and pepper bullets. What are you not understanding? Because as I was watching the video, what was the smoke that I saw in the air? What was it? What smoke did I see in the air? What did y'all use? There are legal observers on site right now is the word that I'm getting. And so far, there were 3 individuals arrested that we know of so far. Because we know how this goes. I, Jamaica Miles, as the co-founder of All of Us, and as a Black Lives Matter activist myself, am angry. I don't even think I can be sad right now. I was sad as I'm watching on film that people I love and care for, Black bodies being taken over by the Albany Police Department because they were occupying a space peacefully. Because they were standing their ground and demanding justice, that they were demanding an end to police brutality in the city of Albany, that they were calling for accountability against Lieutenant Anderson, who hit a Black woman in the mouth. He bust open the lip of Chandler Hickenbottom. It's on video, but they didn't show you that video. No, Chief Hawkins had something else to say. He wanted to portray this narrative of there was a siege happening. No, there were protesters saying people over property. The lieutenant didn't want to hear Chandler continue to chant people over property. The building is what they were concerned for. They were not concerned for the bodies that were outside demanding justice for Black lives. And so today they sent another loud message that the city of Albany is not here for Black lives. Food that is there at that encampment, what's going to happen to it now? What's the city of Albany going to do with that food? That food that was being given to homeless, home insecure, food insecure individuals in that neighborhood. I myself stood on that ground and spoke to community members who came through and said, I'm here to make a donation. Community members made a donation and told me a personal story about Anderson before he became lieutenant, about how he twisted a woman's arm behind her back. Yeah. And if anyone says, oh, well, if you're under arrest, get out my face. Because she talked about how that man hurt her. And there are lots of stories that continue to come out about the harm that he has caused, and he has rose up through the ranks and become a lieutenant. Chief Hawkins, that's what you got in your police force. And then Officer Felton, y'all still ain't talking about him. Took off his name badge, took off his camera, hit individuals. Chief Hawkins didn't talk about that. He didn't show that footage. City of Albany, did you learn nothing from 2020? The residents in Albany continue to tell you, stop hurting us, stop killing us, ban tear gas, ban rubber bullets, defund the police, invest in communities. What are you not understanding? That we will be in the streets and in the voting booth in November. We got nothing but time and opportunity and the willpower to organize those on the ground. So if you're an individual right now that's looking for something to do, I'm going to tell you again, go ahead and sign up for the email list for all of us, but also look for the other organizations that are out there that are also doing work on the ground. Find out what's going on with the Center for Law and Justice. Find out what's going on with Elevate 518, with Youth FX. Find a way to be involved because we need everyone. We need all of us. All of us, groups and organizations, we're working together. There is no division. And we need bodies for different roles and responsibilities because God help us, they have the resources, we don't. And they just use their power and privilege to take down an encampment that was occupying a space that did not infringe on the local community, but supported the local community. But when those white Occupy folks came and took over a park, no one else could use the park. No one else could use the park. Kathy didn't make those folks leave Occupy when they were screaming, tax the rich. But because we're telling you to defund the police and stop beating us and stop killing us, that Black Lives Matter, they need to leave. They were supporting the community. I'm going to say it again. They gave them food. They gave them shelter to homeless individuals that were there. Local community members came through and received and also gave. They gave their personal stories about what they went through themselves with the Albany Police Department, the very officers that they are protesting. You chose not to pass a ban on tear gas when you had the opportunity. You continue to tell the city of Albany that you don't care about Black and brown folks. You don't care about the poor. You're not going to listen to them because somehow you know better. You sit in your seats of privilege and somehow believe that white supremacy is going to save us. We keep us safe. When there was the march down on Saturday and a white car went driving through protesters and the Albany Police Department was right there, they did nothing. They didn't get out of the car. They didn't approach the car that was driving through protesters. When that woman got out of the car and was screaming the N-word over and over and over again, they made no attempts to intervene whatsoever. And this is a firsthand account because I was there. This isn't me telling you someone else's view, but there are plenty of views for us to tell because they don't trust the cops. So pay attention, look for the lives, be there for support. We'll be back with future updates.